Well, hello to all the Web3 enthusiasts out there. This is Max speaking, and welcome to the new episode of Synopsis Talks. Today's topic will be not too much common, particularly for our channel, but I know there are a lot of enthusiasts, such as I am, and today we're going to discuss a lot about mining. And welcome our today's guest, Dr. Youwei Yang from Bit Mining. Hello, Dr. Yang. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you for having me, Max. Good to be here. Talk about all the topics surrounding the mining topics.
Okay, all cool now and set up. So I have a real bunch of questions prepared for today, and let's just get straight to the action and begin with some introductory ones. So could you please tell
Absolutely.
us how your company started? As per your website, the company was listed on New York Stock Exchange long before you announced the pivot to blockchain. So could you add some details to that story?
Sure, absolutely. The company started as a technology internet company and primarily involved in the business in the online lottery distribution sales. We were used to be the largest distributor of online lottery, including sports, all that different lottery sales in China, and also in some other areas. And the regulation become more stringent since 2016, 17. So that's where we pivoted into crypto in 2018, kind of basically kind of slowly migrated off from the lottery businesses and full steam ahead with crypto businesses, primarily in the mining space. We had the 435 megawatts hydropower-based mining facility in China. It used to be the largest one across the globe. And after the China ban in 2021, we have moved and migrated into Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, for kind of some small ones for kind of going broad testing. But we have finally settled in US after 3, 4 months of exploration in Ohio. And that's our main mining facility for a while, for the last 3 years. That's 150 megawatts. And we've now just recently acquired 100 megawatts Ethiopia data center, which is in the kind of the Africa, Ethiopia. So that's where we kind of going more broadly uh, in globally footprint for our mining facilities. And besides of the data center itself, we also have the mining chips, mining ASICs manufacturing as well. We work with different partners and such as B Computing and have manufactured Litecoin, Dogecoin miners, and that's successful in current setup with all the Dogecoin, Litecoin going up so much, and that giving us quite a bit profits with the mining machines we've manufactured ourselves and self-mining right now. And we used to have kind of the fifth largest mining pool, BTC.com. We recently, about half a year ago, sold that out and right now only mainly focused on the data center mining and the mining machines. Because the mining pool is a very complex business, we want to kind of hyper focused in the data center and mining.
Wow, cool. What a nice story. And I would say that your market expansion is pretty rapid. Like from taking this pivot change, it took you not a very long time to become one of the leading companies in the market. And also, what I like
Yes.
yeah, also what I like about your answer is that it contains several teasers for the questions I have prepared for today as well. And the next question would be actually about your location in different regions. So as you mentioned, so as far as we know, your facilities are not located only in the USA, but globally. So could you please tell us where is it easier to get things done from the regulatory point of view?
Sure. So we've had explored into different facilities, as we mentioned, different countries, um, and U.S. is definitely most stable, safe um, facility kind of set up, but it takes a little bit longer since people are more have high standards, higher standards in data centers in US than other countries, and also the regulatory structure is a little bit more tedious than other countries, such as the power procurement agreement, all that set up. But it's pretty safe, especially now with the Trump administration embracing crypto, embracing mining. It gives us more support in order to stay longer and expanding in US. And it's a very stable, mature market in US. We've also had a co-location center in Texas for a while, so we've know and also explore many states when we were trying to set up the data center. So we had a broad exposure and understanding of the power market in the US, various different states, Wyoming, Washington, Kentucky, all those different places besides the Ohio and Texas we had operations for, but all the different states we've looked into the power. So they're all good, but just depends on where we kind of land with the different deals, partners, and also the power infrastructure. But all in all, US is pretty mature market, and then we'll be growing more, expanding with administration Trump coming in. In terms of Ethiopia, the power is uh, relatively cheaper, and the human capital, the construction, materials, all that are cheaper too. So the overall cost uh, is definitely more reasonable compared, more economically sound compared to US, um, and even cheaper than China. But the only thing is the asset safety concern, since there's some social unrest here and there in Ethiopia, which my concerns our employees and also our customers. But we do have a interesting setup that I want to share with. As you might know, that the newer machines, the newer generation miners, are more expensive than the older generation, just like the S21, T21s are more expensive and they're more valuable. So our clients and ourselves put all those kind of more valuable machines in US since they're more safe and secured, and we'll have kind of the little bit outdated older generation machines, but they're still functioning very well and kind of secondary generation machines from 21, 22 kind of generations machines. We'll put that into Ethiopia, and our clients will put that into Ethiopia as well. I mean, they're still valuable, but not as ex valuable and expensive as the new generation machines. So they don't have too much risk in terms of assets in Ethiopia. I mean, there's still some, but they're not too concerned if assets got stolen or anything. But we have put a very strong security um, in our data center. They're armed security in our Ethiopia data centers to make sure our assets are safe.
Well, what a nice overview. I actually never dig deep into the topic of Ethiopian locations of mining facilities, and pretty interesting. Thanks for this. And once again, you made several teasers for the upcoming questions as well. So let's move on to the next of them. And as of today, we already mentioned several altcoins like Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin. And as far as we know, altcoin mining can bring an income several times higher than even that of Bitcoin. So could you please tell us what is the most profitable cryptocurrency you mine?
Sure, absolutely. It's a very interesting question. Thank you for kind of lining up that. We used to be one of the largest Ethereum miner, like ETH, before the proof of stake kind of upgrade. And that was very profitable at the time, 21, 22. And after the upgrade, basically we can only mine Ethereum Classic with those machines, with all those ASICs. I mean the GPUs can do other things just such as AI. We can easily migrate into other purposes. But for the ASICs, we can only migrate it to mining Ethereum Classic. So the profits on the Ethereum side is gone, and the mining Ethereum Classic is operationable but not that profitable. Um, so that part is kind of depends on Ethereum, the whole foundation that the upgrade. I mean, the upgrade is great. We understand that's good for the efficiency, good for the environment, but in terms of profits for the Ethereum side, is not anymore. But thanks for Elon Musk. I appreciate for his support for this community, on the whole community with Dogecoin, Litecoin. That's very supportive for our mining profits. And actually, our mining profits for Dogecoin, Litecoin is triple compared to Bitcoin mining, and even much more than Ethereum Classic. So that's particularly not only due to the Dogecoin support from Elon, but also the whole proof of work. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, all these are proof of work. So the theme of having these consensus of having proof of work kind of spending, consuming energy and validated by the underlying resources, not from thin air. It's a pretty reasonable solidation of the resources and the chips and all that coming into an asset and going through the validations. So that's a true infrastructure. So the proof of work story is still very astonishing. And so that combined with the Dogecoin, that's giving us quite a profit for margin for mining the Litecoin Dogecoin. Set aside, there's also other small coins that comes with Litecoin Dogecoin mining, such as Bellcoin, Lucky Coin. So they're small ones, but they're not as kind of the big chunk, but that gives us some small rewards on the side besides the Litecoin Dogecoin mining, the dual mining itself. So then the profits is definitely uh, in the rise, and we're looking to expand more into the Dogecoin, Litecoin minings.
Well, super. Thank you very much because this was, I would say, one of the most exact answers for this kind of question. Because when it came to discussing with our guests before, it turned into some diplomacy or even philosophy. Like it depends on this, it depends on that, and now we have like this global overview and some exact answers. Thanks a lot for that, and shout out to Elon Musk for supporting the altcoin miners. Uh,
Definitely. Elon and Trump appreciated it.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we are moving on. And the next things I'd like to ask you is we already know about some reasons for USA location and jurisdiction, so it's safe and pretty convenient. But why did you choose to register exactly in Ohio? And one additional question is also, why do you need a Chinese corporate ID when you are based in the US?
So the company first started in China. So as mentioned, the lottery sales businesses, and it also has we also have the registration in Hong Kong and Caymans for our public listing for New York Stock Exchange, since we are basically an ADR foreign traded company into US. That's the structure we required as the regulatory being having Hong Kong, Caymans, and also the US registry in Delaware. So that's the general setup. So we have the structure for the public listing standards. Um, Besides that, the Ohio registration is mostly that we have the operations directly in Ohio, and the power is stable, is relatively cheap, profitable for us mining, and the weather is cold, So code is for good for our mining, since the cooling is the definitely the one of the major requirements for the ASICs. So speaking of the kind of the registration, so that's where we will see the public listing standards with New York Stock Exchange from Hong Kong, Caymans to Delaware, and also the Ohio is mostly for operational purposes. Our employees are mostly in Ohio. I mean, U.S. employees are mostly in Ohio, and even though some of our employees coming from China traveling to, they're in Ohio as well, and so that's kind of our hub in the U.S.
Okay, pretty reasonable, and seems like all the factors were taken into account when making this decision. So thank you, and moving on to the uh, kind of the middle of the interview. So another thing we'd like to know is what is the average lifetime of the new miner you use for Bitcoin mining before it comes obsolete, and how often do you need to upgrade the mining hardware to stay in the game?
Yes, very good question. In terms of operational functioning, it can function for 5, 6 years. However, because of the difficulty hash rate, having hash rate difficulty has been rising all along. So it's more competitive, and also the halving is mechanism every 4 years. So all these combined reasons making a mining machine profitable only for 2.5, 3 years. So that's what I was saying that we will use most profitable, most powerful, most valuable machines in US, and then after 2, 3 years of the cycle, we will move those machines to Ethiopia because of the power is cheaper. That will maintain our margin relatively, since after every halving, the block rewards is halved. So that's a very difficult situation for the kind of the machines for the older generation machines. So that's where we will set up kind of the two locations across countries to kind of digest that change from the hash rate difficulties and also the halving schedule. So I would say it's functionable for 5 years, 6 years, but every 2, 3 years we have to kind of swap into upgrading into the new machines.
Okay, thanks. Seems like after half of the life cycle, the machines are migrating to Ethiopia, and the newbies.
Yeah, I would say it's similar to cell phones, right? We will use I'm not sure about you, but I will use the most kind of upgraded version of iPhones like iPhone 15, 16s, and I'll just basically pass on my old 13, 14, 12s to my parents, my grandparents. So that's how it works, right? It still works, but just not as keep up.
Yeah, it's a common story, and for sure, sounds reasonable. Okay, cool. So at this point, we would like to return to Donald Trump and to ask you if you believe that his recent strategy to mine the rest of Bitcoins in the US, so is it feasible? And by the way, how big is the share of the US in the Bitcoin mining market, and what countries are the main competitors?
Sure. I'll start with a little story, kind of history. China, Russia, and US used to be like the three major kind of the mining countries in the US be before 2021. So I would say China was like roughly closer to 50%, and then uh, US and Russia shares the other 50%, along with other small places. But after the China ban, basically China's completely down for uh, the the mining power. That means there are still people hidden there mining, but they're nothing major. So right now it's I would say US based on the Cambridge study. Actually, that this is Cambridge University kind of put out the kind of the benchmark study every year. The data was like what I mentioned for the 21. And then coming to 23, it's more like 50% US and and 20-30% for Russia, and the rest 25% coming from Africa and Europe. So that's how it was kind of late 23, early 24 data. I mean, they haven't upgraded I mean, they haven't updated their data yet for the newest conditions. But I would guess US is more, I mean, US and Canada combined is more like 60-70% now. Because Canada is also having cheap power, and also they have quite a bit of public traded companies there too, kind of mining facilities there as well. Um, I would say the rest of the Bitcoin in the US is is a little bit ambitious, but I would say, I mean, majority is very reasonable, like 60-70%. Keeping that rise and then going forward, it can be very dominating. I mean, it can be like it cannot be 100%, of course, but I would say otherwise it would not be the decentralized platform, right? It will be very centralized, dominating, only in US. But I would say majority would definitely make sense. 60-70% is pretty reasonable number to put in.
Well, that's a big one. Actually, um, never knew exactly about it, and what it is. I like about your answers is that we receive the exact information we ask about. So thanks for that, and yeah, so gotta think more about this and where the industry is heading to. Wow.
Yes.
And mm, another question I'd like to ask is about that kind of pain level for the miners, maybe. Could you tell us how you survive the times when the Bitcoin price is lower than the mining costs, actually?
Yeah, good question. And it's actually very difficult for many miners, including ourselves, to go through different cycles. But we've survived two already, so two, three, yes. Now we're in the third cycle. The key to the success is to maintain a certain cash reserve in order to pay for electricity bills. And also we've used financial instruments. Since actually my background is in the traditional finance, trading commodity futures options. Um, so I did implement that similar structure in our current company um, to hedge against price risk, at least for power portions. So in that regard means we will hedge our input risk, electricity price, and also the upper risk, the crypto price. Make sure our margin is in the reasonable range, and that there's at least having some stable cash flows. And we'll keep some of the positions and exposures unhedged, so they can, especially in the bull cycle, so we can get more exposure into the upside. And in the bear cycle, we'll kind of hedge more in terms of crypto exposures to make sure we have downside protected. But we're more open to the kind of upside in the bull cycles. So to that question, kind of more simply, we'll have enough cash reserve to pay for electricity bills. So in that, I mean, we will sell some small portion of coins when the price is high, and in order to pay the electricity bill when crypto price is low. So that's one thing. And the other thing is the hedging using financial instruments like futures options, crypto price volatilities.
Well, so we have a kind of ready recipe of success here. So thanks for sharing, and we're getting closer to the end of the interview, but several questions here left, and we are also getting
Yes.
closer to the end of the year. So the questions will be about some announcements and teasers, maybe. So the first one, what will be the major trends of the crypto mining industry in 2025, in your opinion?
Sure. Like we mentioned earlier, with Trump support, US will be more dominating in the space. Uh, so we will keep our eyes on the US market, see if there's any reasonably priced power facility that's available so we can get into for expansions. And that in terms of energy cost, President Trump is also mentioning that he will help make sure that the energy cost is low for the citizens, for the industries can consume uh, abundant and cheap energy. So that's good for the industry overall as well, and that will attract more facilities to set up in the U.S. And the previously Biden ministry has threatening to put on tax on our industry, crypto mining industry. But I don't think that's Trump will do that. But even for maybe having that will be small, and then that will be more for the safety measures, the registration measures, and regulatory measures that will be helpful for making sure the industries in the mainstream. I mean, it used to be kind of in the sideline and compared to AI data centers. But now we are seeing it's more converted and more modern standard, high standards with crypto data centers, and they can also sometimes do AI jobs too when they set up AI chips, GPUs on the side. So it's more. I mean, the AI chips will becoming um, less expensive as well, so they're more down to the earth. So and crypto is kind of climbing up to the mainstream. So those two will converge more together. So the crypto data centers, AI data centers, and all the general cloud data centers, they will come into kind of the intersection all along. So that's kind of the three main things I will mention: the power, the tax regulatory, and also the AI integration.
Awesome. We'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. And thanks for sharing. And what about now announcements and plans exactly of bit mining? So, what are your plans for 2025 and beyond? So, I would say that this year your operations look great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we've been thriving to keep up our facility, the maintenance and the hash rate, all that. So we're striving hard for that. And as you've seen the news, we've acquired our data center in Ethiopia. So we'll continue to finish up. I mean, some of those are already operating, and some of them are waiting for our clients to ship in their machines to Ethiopia. So it's in the progress. So there will be the hash rate will come up uh, uh, continuously, and there are some will still finish up the final touches to get powered on. So we'll continue to do that in Ethiopia, and we'll also look into other opportunities in Ethiopia as well, because there's so much we can do in terms of bringing to the technology from China and US into investment and building infrastructure in Ethiopia, since it's kind of the 80s, 90s of China and the 60s, 70s of US. So there's a lot of growing opportunities in Ethiopia we can expand it into. So that's for Ethiopia. And for our Dogecoin Litecoin, we're looking to add more kind of mining for this standpoint. As we've seen, Trump and Elon will continue to boost and support this community, not only Bitcoin but also Dogecoin, Litecoin. So that trend is unstoppable. So we will do everything we can to keep up our expansion in the crypto like the alternative coins, Litecoin, Dogecoin mining, and also the foundation of Bitcoin minings. Um, in terms of Bitcoin minings, um, our own mining facility, mining manufacturing is mostly in the Dogecoin Litecoin, but we're looking to buy more Bitcoin mining machines in order to expand our hash rate. And for the US, like I said, we've done very thorough study into AI integration, and we were very careful of kind of putting uh, the investment into the right place. AI is very expensive, so we want to be very extra careful to spend the money in order to expand into the AI space in terms of not only data center but also the cloud services, the software side. Since we had the foundation of the mining pool, so we also have some software-based capacity as well. So that's kind of the three layers. Ethiopia, all industry besides data centers to kind of bring into the technology from China and the US into Ethiopia. So that's one. And two is our continuous efforts into upgrading our hash rate in Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoins. And the third is integration into AI. So that's kind of the our major uh, kind of blueprint for 2025 and going forward.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, and I wish you best of luck with all those directions. You'll reach it for sure. So, thanks, and we'll be tracking your success as well. Yeah, and actually, we came up to the final part of our today's interview. It was super fast. At least I felt like this because the information was very valuable, and thanks a lot for that. So, to finish it up, could you please share some piece of advice to our audience? This might be addressed to miners or to any other group, or it might be some universal, whatever you find valuable to tell the audience before the new year. So please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the opportunity. It's kind of my humble opinions, so please take a grain of salt. I would say for retail customers, even for myself personally, I would say the biggest thing is to start. Even it's for the mining, buying a mining machine or mining on the computer, mining on GPU, and just to start with that process, just set up the wallet, set up the kind of mining pool connection, set up the mining machine or GPU or computer. I mean, computer is not as kind of competitive mining Bitcoin anymore, but it can still mine some other coins pretty profitably. Um, or start buying or holding Bitcoins. Uh, I mean, watching is the least thing we should do. I mean, keep watching is not. I mean, studying is good, but at least starting small, buying a small portion, or I mean, we don't need to buy a whole one Bitcoin. We can buy 0.001 Bitcoin to start with. Um, and there's also one Bitcoin is equal to a whole lot of Satoshis, meaning that that's kind of the future standards for the purchasing powers. So to that front, I want to kind of bring the kind of the newer people, the younger people, uh, to start, whether it's mining or buying or holding. That's for one. And two is to to look for the future of where blockchain and AI can converge into. I mean, I would say the AI is the productivity of the future of humans, uh, and also the blockchain is kind of the production relations, decentralized relations, how people can allocate properly of all the ownership and resources of different assets and the productivities. So those two can power up kind of the human upgrading to the next generation future powers as well. So that's I would say look for the opportunities in the intersection between AI and blockchain. And the third will be um, to enjoy life and 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 to not only focus on the price movement, the the meme coins, all those different 10x, 100x, but also if you have made money, um, enjoy life, be kind of, I would say that the most important thing with life is not only wealth, but also health and love. So enjoy life, enjoy family, and have fun.
Wow, that's the best finish of the discussion I could think about. So thanks a lot. It was very encouraging and positive. So guys, keep it in mind. Yeah, enjoy life and wish all the best. Like nothing
Yes,
to add
Merry
here.
Christmas and
Nothing
Happy New
to
Year to everybody.
add. Yeah, nothing to add, but this. Yeah, of course, sure. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So that's it for today.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Yam, for joining in. It was very insightful, a lot of valuable, exact information, which is not and very common thing about many of your colleagues, I would say. And yeah, thanks for our audience for watching till the end. So take care, enjoy life, and better be ready to start at least today. So thanks again.
Yes. Thank you. Happy holidays.